Hi. Guess who's back? Back again.
Good Soup's back.
Good Soup's back.
Tell a
hey,
friend.
we're doing more Good Soup. Things look a little different around here. For starters,
You can see.
They
us.
look. So
Yeah.
that's
This is
that's
what we
new.
look like.
If you're listening, same old, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, audio hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I mean, it might sound a little. We're in a different room.
Yeah. No. I mean,
Yeah.
no echo. Brick walls.
Yeah,
you know.
we're.
My voice actually got a bit deeper.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Dan hit
Dan
puberty.
hit puberty for the 100th time. Yeah.
But yeah, we are live from the studio, doing video podcasts as well as audio podcasts now. You'll probably be seeing a lot more of us in the future. We've got some exciting things planned. We won't talk about any of them now in case we don't actually do any of them. But
Backup plans.
covering our asses. But welcome back to the Good Soup Film Podcast.
Sorry we were gone so long. Just after we saw Morbius,
Yeah,
Yeah,
we had
honestly.
some time
Yeah.
process the
some
greatest movie
time
ever
to
made.
process that movie.
We've seen Morbius 1 more billion times, and we kind of came to an agreement as a group that just like we can only make so many Morbius podcasts.
Yeah.
I truly do think Morbius is the Citizen Kane of this generation. It will change
agree.
everything.
Yeah.
Truth.
It really, we were in 2016, but Morbius brought us into 2022.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
What a profound thought.
Thank
What a
you.
profound
Yeah.
thought.
I have a
Wow.
lot of them.
I know.
But yeah, specifically in this podcast, we're going to be talking about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness and Everything Everywhere All at Once, two movies that are similar, two movies that are different. We missed a couple movies while we were gone, though. A couple movies came and went that we didn't get a chance to talk about, so we figured we'd hit you with a quick recap, a quick
rapid fire.
Yeah, a little rapid fire. So we'll go down the list. We'll go down to oldest. Turning Red came out. Disney Pixar Turning Red.
I did not see that one.
Dan didn't see it.
I saw it.
I did too.
Didn't love it.
It was okay.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you tell me why? Pontificate, please.
I am a daughter and I have a mother. And so there's been a lot of mother-daughter movies recently, or they've at least had some mother-daughter aspects, and they've been hitting. I love my mom. Mom, if you're watching, love you.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah. For me, I enjoyed the thematic elements and the story elements. I thought, and I really liked the visual style and everything. For me, it just didn't hold up together as a movie. I thought there were good scenes, but the connective tissue was just one thing would happen and then we would just completely forget about it and move on to another thing.
It felt a little bit constipated and all over the place. I didn't mean to use that word.
You didn't mean
but-
to shit on Turning Red?
Yeah, I didn't mean to shit on Turning Red, but it just felt a little bit bloated. That's the word I was going for. Just a little bit of stuff shoved together. I will agree, the art style was very cool.
I love the
Yeah.
animation
Yeah,
style.
the
I thought
animation style
that
was
part,
awesome.
That part was great, and yeah, the story I really liked. It just it didn't keep it consistent enough for me to enjoy it.
That's fair.
The Outfit came out with Mark Rylance, kind of an under the radar, and Dylan O'Brien was in it too.
It was pretty fun.
Yeah,
I
it was
really enjoyed it. It was really
The
quick.
last 5 minutes were weird.
so stupid.
Yeah, but,
So-
everything
We'll
before
we
that?
can just
Did you-
pretend that it actually ended.
Did you see The Outfit?
I
Eric?
did not.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why
it
I
was
was quiet.
actually
It was a
cute.
good
Yeah.
it was very Bad Times at the Al Royale, where it was
Yeah.
kind of Tarantino-esque, where it's one room, all dialogue, interesting characters. Not really anything crazy, incredible, greatest movie you've ever seen, but really enjoyable watch.
Yeah,
I did
really,
watch the
really
trailer.
solid.
Yeah,
With
it was.
you?
Yeah.
It was good. It
Cool.
wasn't bad.
Yeah, had fun style to it too.
Yeah. Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore.
I am gonna not go on a tangent.
Yeah,
That's fair.
we only have limited time for
So
this.
Yeah,
thankfully,
so,
I did not watch it.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
I
I'd
saw
be
it
unbearable.
alone
Lucky
in the
you.
movie theater.
Same.
And, it was pretty
Alone,
fun.
Dan? Just you?
Just me.
No,
there
one
were
there.
other people.
Well, me and Nicole
Dan,
Kidman.
Well, no.
Oh, right,
Dan,
yeah.
it was you, Nicole Kidman, and The Secret of Dumbledore.
And do you know what the secret was?
Wait, Dan, no spoilers.
Well, Dan, his secret's censored in China.
Yeah, it wasn't a good movie.
Yeah, it was a really bad movie. I wasn't expecting it to be a good movie.
No, yeah.
I wasn't going in oh my god, I can't wait for Fantastic Beasts. It has that
Was
problem
anybody?
where it's
J.K. Rowling?
the Beast adventure part is fun,
Well,
and
no.
I enjoy that.
No, the biggest thing. This is all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
The biggest
Right.
thing of this franchise is Newt and his friends and the
Yes.
Fantastic Beasts. That's fun.
I enjoy
And then
that.
there's all the
Dumbledore's
Dumbledore
also there.
Grindelwald
But
stuff.
Dan, the
Stop
kids
trying to
love
raise
Harry
the
Potter.
stakes of the movie. Just make it a fun
No, but
Newt
Yeah,
Eric,
adventure.
just give me Newt and Bakery Man.
Thank you.
Let them go capture animals.
Yeah, so that was Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah.
We also saw Sonic 2, which we tried to record something, but
So,
it's,
I just
don't
we
know.
had a lot of difficulty.
I don't know
was-
if it'll see the light of day.
It was my personal 9/11 because I bought a children's Sonic costume, like for a birthday party. And I wore it to the theater thinking like, this is going to be so funny.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. All these dudes are going to come up to me and be like, yo, Sonic. And it just was a bunch of kids, and I had to take like 20 pictures, and parents were like kind of rude to me.
Is there any way we could show the viewers this costume?
For those watching.
Because it's beautiful.
Yeah. We'll roll it in.
It's right there.
It's right.
I
it's
couldn't
right
sit.
there. Right there.
I couldn't sit like this in the theater because the suit was made of like this styrofoam,
Yeah.
so I had to lay back.
They also
this.
didn't let you keep the helmet on.
No, they wouldn't let me
No.
keep the head on, and then
It was like the second you walked into
Yeah,
the
it
theater.
was
Well, I
like,
mean,
hey,
you
man.
know, when
Hey,
a
man,
strange
hey,
man
man.
in a Sonic costume walks into a
But
children's...
Sonic 2 the movie.
I liked it.
I did not.
I know that like it's a kids movie
Mm-hmm.
and it's a stupid kids movie. There's an Uptown Funk dance scene in 2022, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But the last 40 minutes, I would argue, are some of the best action scenes in any video game movie ever made.
when
I
it
would-
focused,
is
when
Sonic.
it focused on Sonic...
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree. I would say that Sonic 2 is making a valiant attempt to be a better movie than Sonic 1, and I think that's why it's not very good.
Okay.
The first one sucked, but it kind of knew that it sucked.
Yeah.
The second one was like, no, we're gonna make like a movie now, and then Sonic made a Winter Soldier joke, and
Yeah, the whole
Yeah.
problem with the movie is the humans.
Yeah.
That whole wedding scene
Yeah.
where they like go to the wedding, and I get they set it up to introduce Gunn and then bring Shadow
Yeah.
in later.
It's like-
spoiler alert.
it's
but
like the modern Godzilla movies. Like nobody gives a shit about the humans. They just
No.
want to see big monster
if
fights.
it was just Knuckles
Yeah.
and Sonic, because Idris Elba is Knuckles.
so sexy.
Sexy
Idris
and
Elba.
good. Like he was a good Knuckles. I like Jim Carrey, even if he made the same joke like 50 times.
I mean,
Like,
he did
Raiders?
floss. He did floss.
He did floss.
Yeah. Funniest part of the movie,
Uh-huh.
actually.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked it. I like Sonic.
Unironically.
Whatever.
Sonic 2.
Sue me.
The Northman came out.
Not enough Goblin mode.
Not enough Goblin mode.
If the movie was just entirely Alexander Skarsgård going sicko mode on people,
Yeah.
I would have been into it.
I agree.
But instead, there was just a long stretch of time where I was like, oh,
Yeah, I'll say of the three recent Robert Eggers movies, The Witch, The
worst.
Lighthouse, and The Northman.
The worst.
Yeah, definitely not my favorite. I definitely wouldn't
Not
say
for
it's,
lack of trying, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't
No.
say it's a bad movie. It's a movie that I watched. I said I'm glad I watched that. I don't really have any urge to watch it again.
No, production design was really
Incredible,
cool. Like that
incredible.
was the highlight of the movie, and the cinematography was really
beautiful.
solid.
I liked it.
It's just the plot was boring. It was a lot of walk and talking. It reminded me of Green Knight in the way that
Yeah.
like it just progressed and went nowhere in the middle. I do want to bring up one point real quick. Alexander Skarsgård, he's not an athlete. Like the scenes where he's running around in the beginning, he looks like he doesn't know how to like run.
Yeah.
And it's weird to me.
But
like,
it's great though. I love it.
it works, but you're like, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about it because I was watching
Nah,
it
I
and I'm
love
like,
it.
the
I know
fluidity
how to
of his
feel about it.
movement is non-existent. I'm
Yeah,
like,
but there's-
this guy would
there's
get
two
capped in
things.
like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
There's two things I want to point out. Two scenes that stick out to my head.
I know one of them.
One, when they're just around the fire barking like dogs. Me and the boys do that. all
Yeah,
the time.
Yeah,
I mean,
honestly,
me
we
and
do
the-
that
and the
every
boys.
Friday
And
night.
second, the final fight scene was the most metal shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Two naked men fighting in a volcano?
See, I thought you were gonna bring up Willem Dafoe hanging dong, but
Well, I meant to give him.
Willem
Yeah.
Dafoe, if you
He
took a
was the-
bunch of edibles and
Yeah.
watched that movie, like,
Oh my God,
Willem Dafoe
yeah.
would terrify
Yeah,
you. He was
He terrified
yeah,
me
he was
sober.
scary.
but yeah, The Northman, kind of a mixed bag. Not bad, not great.
if it's judged against like other movies,
Yeah.
it's good. If it's judged against other Eggers, it's not so
It's
good.
definitely a movie that I would say is worth a watch.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know if it's worth a rewatch though.
I would say no.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
a little.
I'm
It
probably
was a
not
little
gonna rewatch it.
overwhelming for
Yeah.
me.
Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Me and Allie saw it.
Surprisingly fun for the
Yeah.
most part.
Not
Definitely a kids movie.
not bad. Yeah, directed by Akiva Schaffer, Lonely Island, Andy Samberg, all those guys. Some really funny bits. Like
Yeah.
the bits
Were
are
good.
hysterical.
Lonely Island.
Yeah.
That's what they
Yeah.
do.
But the movie as a whole, it is a kids movie. It feels very
Yeah.
kids movie. Who is?
Who? The detective?
Yeah.
The
She's in
lady
Beale
from Beale
Street.
Street. The leading lady.
How's that?
Which is a beautiful movie, by the way. No, she was great. She played her part with like the utmost sincerity, which like really sold it because it's like
Kiki Lane.
ridiculous. yeah.
Kiki Lane plays like the head detective.
No, she's not the head.
Oh well, she's
The Gumby.
so no head?
J.K.
Yeah,
Simmons
J.K.
is Gumby.
Simmons is- J.K. Simmons is the Gumby police chief.
and she's like a
Simmons can-
detective.
Yeah, she's like the main. She's the main. She's the main cop that we follow.
Yes,
but she
yeah.
like if you've seen Beale Street, she like gives a really great, just like earnest, like childlike performance where like she just has like this like natural like naivete to her, and it works so well in like a kid's detective caper movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because like she's
it
interacting
does.
with 2 animated chipmunks, but she sounds so goddamn sincere.
She
I
does,
like that.
yeah,
And it works so
She
well.
really is like.
I mean,
she's
essentially
really
at that
selling
point,
it.
you are voice acting. I mean,
Yeah.
you're acting physically, but if you're around animated figures and there's no one actually there, it's
Yeah.
really like a voice acting.
You
game.
guys ever hear
There's-
that story of Ian McKellen losing his mind on the Hobbit set?
Oh yeah, because he couldn't act with a tennis ball.
Yeah.
Because it was
Yeah.
all green screen and a
Yeah.
tennis ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will say, Chip and Dale, it works and it both doesn't work. It's hard to tell because it's a very like making fun of studios and like specifically like it makes fun of a lot of Disney. It brings up a lot of like dark Peter Pan actor stuff. Like one of the main characters is Peter Pan, and his story like mimics the story of the actual kid who voiced Peter Pan, which is very dark.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't know how to feel about it because this movie feels like the studio should not have approved it. Like it feels like they get away with a lot, which makes me feel like the studio did approve it, which makes the jokes a little less funny and like those kind of nods and like references just like a little sour because it's like
Yeah,
it's
you guys
Disney
also
getting
did this.
Yeah, Disney's getting the last laugh, but like
Yeah.
it feels like a movie that was constructed and made like with Disney kind of turning a like it feels like they shouldn't have been able to get away with a lot of stuff.
Well,
that
I
they did.
mean, that's just corporations in general of shows. Like
Yeah.
The Boys is a pretty big anti-capitalist show, and
Yeah.
it airs on Amazon Prime. It's
Yeah,
produced by
honestly,
Amazon.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was in Lonely Island's contract that they had to have some kind of final cut say.
Yeah,
and maybe a
it's-
lot of those jokes were driven
Yeah.
by them.
So I think those aspects just like make it just a little bit
Weird.
like I can't thoroughly enjoy this in good conscience.
Yeah.
But some really funny bits in a less than great movie. Yeah. And then
Ending on a high note.
me and Allie saw Men.
Don't go see Men.
Don't go see Men.
Don't go see Men.
But I am a man.
Yeah, as a man.
Did
I
you
mean,
wait?
fucking true.
Did you know it is all men? Because I didn't know that until I watched that movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I saw a lot of people that
all
said
men are bad guys.
the third act.
Who'd have thought?
I love Alex Garland. I love Ex Machina. I like Annihilation. The third act of this movie is very just strange and visceral and violent.
But not in like a fun, surrealist way.
yeah, just
in
kind
like
of in a. It feels very tooting its own
Okay.
horn. I saw a lot of people that were like, it had me in the first half and then got weird in the second half, and I was like, I didn't really.
It never had
It never
me.
had me. It's very.
There's nothing
It feels
compelling.
very weirdly student filmy. Like it's very like.
Okay.
Like
Jesse
amateur.
Buckley walks through the woods and like here's a twig snap. And like that's how it decides to build tension for like a half hour.
I also thought the shooting style was boring and stale.
Yeah, it felt very coverage heavy. Like it was very
Yeah.
nothing really felt very deliberate. And also like I really like Jessie Buckley as an actor, but like her character is like so bad. Like it's literally just her. Like the beginning she's good, but like she just kind of like the rest of the movie she just kind of stands there and like stares and
For
then
a
goes,
movie
"What?"
that's like about, wow, men are awful to women and women should have like autonomy and control. She kind of just stands there and does nothing a lot.
Yeah,
You know what? The
it's,
script was probably written by a man.
It was.
Well, it was written
Yeah.
by Alex Garland.
Yeah.
Okay. And his scripts, in my opinion, I mean, Ex Machina, I think is a bad script, and that's a hot take.
I
I know that
disagree
you guys
with
don't
you,
agree.
yeah.
We don't have to argue about
No,
it
but
now.
he has written what, three really
Yeah,
popular,
three features,
I
that
mean,
are really
Annihilation
popular
was
that are
really
all
good.
about
Yeah.
women going through tremendous amounts of trauma. So
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a critique to be held there. But
Yeah, it also.
I
it
don't
also-
want to talk about it.
It
No,
feels
yeah.
feels very student filmy. It also feels very COVID production heavy. Like
Okay.
it's like one or two characters in a house.
Yeah.
And like, yeah,
They did nothing fun with it.
I wish I had more to say about it, but like I really just like it left me feeling so bored and so hollow that like by the time like the crazy, gory, nasty finale comes around, I was just kind of like, oh,
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
I think
Sometimes you can watch like a horror or like a thriller and be like, the plot wasn't that good, but like at least I was like scared
Yeah.
or like it was exhilarating and like I was like had my adrenaline going.
we went and saw it together.
No.
I think if I would have seen that alone, I would have walked out.
Okay.
And I
Not
hate,
out of like a
yeah, not
"Oh
out
my
of like
God,
a
I
I
can't
can't
believe they
take this. Like
showed
I was
that."
literally just like bored.
Yeah.
And it does the thing that a lot of horror movies do, where like it's just accidentally goofy.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the
that's why
early
I don't like
scares are
horror
just like I'm
movies.
just like, oh, that was pretty silly.
Yeah, it's like every horror movie I watch where I'm like, I know I'm supposed to feel goofy.
Yeah, he like the first thing that antagonizes her is like
A naked man in the woods.
man who just like follows her.
And he follows
and
her
it's
home.
so funny because he just like stands there naked, and
So-
like it's meant to be scary. I don't want to get into a discussion.
Just
about
one
men.
more question.
Yeah,
about
go
it.
ahead.
Over under. I'm sorry, more or less butt cheeks than the Halo show.
Well, I haven't seen Master Chief lose his
There were
virginity.
somehow
Master
a lot-
Queef, more like it.
There was somehow. Was there more butt or?
No, there was a lot of cock and balls in this.
Yeah.
Okay, so
a lot of
Halo-
cock and
I
balls.
also heard
It
there
a
was
lot of, like, full
Yeah, there was a
frontal-
Manussi. There
A
was a
Manussi.
Manussi. but
So
we
that's
won't
what
get
we
into
wanted
that.
in
We won't get
Nightmare
into that.
Alley. Bradley Cooper,
Yeah.
Hang Dong. We didn't get it.
Yeah, instead we got
I'd say between that and the Halo show, we've got a lot of dicks and
All
asses
right.
recently.
Well, you know what?
I mean, it's been a good
Let's-
year for cocks in cinema,
Yeah.
but we can.
No more men.
Unfortunately.
The last
I don't know
time
if anybody was like, you know what I want out of this year in movies?
Lots of flaccid
Penis.
cocks.
All right. The last thing we wanted to touch on was not a movie, but we all watched Moon Knight.
Oh yeah, yeah, we did all watch Moon Knight. And
Yeah.
Eric, you don't like Marvel stuff.
So, and I look to the camera. I famously hate Marvel. I think that they do kind of the same thing over and over again. And I will say, Moon Knight was not the same thing over and over again. It was
Yeah.
very cool. It was very unique. Oscar Isaac is America's daddy, and he continues to prove it. He can be British. Just add another one to the counter of what Oscar Isaac can do.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's entertaining. At times, it's funny. At times, it's action-packed. It's suspenseful. It kind of has a little bit of everything for everyone.
Yeah,
I
it was a fun
really
time.
liked it.
And I like Moon Knight as a character.
Yeah.
I thought this did pretty real.
Yeah, all the characters are great. I think there was some really interesting shooting choices that I like. There's a couple like shots that I can think back to shots in that
I know
show.
which one you're
yeah,
talking
the first,
about.
Like
the
first,
peak,
yeah,
peak
yeah.
across the ledge. Matt
Yeah.
stopped the show, rewound it, and was like, "Oh my god, look at that! Look at that! Look at that! How cool is that?" And we all were like, "Yeah, it was pretty cool."
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that it does still tend to fall into a lot of Marvel trappings, but it never
works for this,
It never
But it
takes
does it
those.
in like a unique way.
Yeah, and
There's
it
still their
knows-
own spin on it.
it knows when to be done with it. Like
Yeah.
it never
Yeah.
really draws anything that would be like boring out.
Like there's a car chase scene,
Yeah.
which there is in I think it's the second episode.
Yeah.
and they have
First
that
one,
like
actually.
okay,
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is the first one because that's when he's in the village.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they have that in pretty much like every Marvel movie,
Yeah.
but it's way different
Yeah.
in the way that it's shot and constructed and what
Yeah.
happens in the scene. And I think that, yes, it does a lot of the same things, but it's unique in the
Yeah.
way it does it. Benedict Cumberbatch is great as the villain, and it really...
Ethan Hawke.
Oh, by the way, there's a running joke that Eric doesn't know the difference between Ethan Hawke
I think we've talked about
and
it.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
I mean, they look the same.
They don't look
yeah.
the same.
They look the
Yeah,
same.
fun
Moon,
time.
Moon Knight was pretty solid. Did you guys want to do?
Yeah, worst person in the world.
Yeah.
You
Which
want to
is
talk about that?
fantastic.
Not a new movie.
Not a new movie,
movie,
but
but-
me and Eric saw it in theaters, and incredible.
Dude.
If we could go back and revise our top from last year, it's in the top 3 for me.
It's in the top 3 for me too.
Yeah.
We walked out of the movie, and I am the type of person that talks incessantly, constantly. Dan and I didn't say anything for like 5 minutes.
And that's like us.
we
Like,
just
we're
we
talking to
walked
people.
out and stood in silence on the street, and we're just like, that might have been the best movie I've
Yeah,
ever seen.
just
Like,
nothing to add to it. Just
Yeah.
the script was very good. The shooting of it.
the way it's
like,
structured in the 12 parts, I love, and this is a very minor thing, but I love when a movie does it. They have this kaleidoscope-looking glass at the end that they look through, and it's all these different primary colors. And in the beginning of the movie, all the title slides are like primary blue, primary red, yellow, and it just looks so good. It gives that like RKO, early RKO feel that like when they first went to color, they do those title slides. I hate to say like Kubrick, but like 2001 did it.
Yeah.
A few other movies did it. I know he was MGM by then, but RKO used to do it all the time with their like solid primary colors on the title screens. They did that. The writing spectacular, the characterization spectacular. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you cry. It'll make you feel nauseous at times.
Got something for the whole family.
Seriously.
Seriously.
It's just so good. And the way it ends, it's just like, it wraps up the whole movie perfectly without being like, this is our ending. It's
Yeah.
just like, this story is over.
I sure do want to watch it.
It's,
It's incredible.
phenomenal.
And great music too. All
cool.
around.
Well, that was everything that we missed and didn't get to talk to you guys about. But now what we're really here to talk about, some more recent movies. Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, and Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Call it May in the Multiverse, if
May
you
in the
will.
Multiverse. We're still in
Sure,
May.
we
We're
can-
still in May.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Allie did not look enthusiastic about that. I thought of that. It took me a while. Whatever.
But yeah, they're two recent releases. They both deal with concepts of the multiverses. Very different movies about multiverses. Very different production styles. Very different budgets. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
What do you want to start with?
Well, like, let's just talk about multiverses as as a concept.
It's interesting that like both those movies came out like almost back to back, like what, 2 weeks apart ish, and like just both have really revitalized the trend of like the multiverse. Like
it's kind of been like a growing trend. Like it's getting increasingly more and more popular.
I will say, and I'm not just saying this because I have some artwork on my body of each, but like Adventure Time and then Rick and Morty, I feel like really kind of propelled the idea into the general pop.
Yeah,
like
well,
there's been a lot of movies that have covered it.
But recently within the past like few weeks, like it's been such like a thing now. Just everyone.
Well, specifically with Doctor Strange and Rick and Morty, the guy who wrote Multiverse of Madness was a writer on Rick and Morty first.
Okay.
And he also wrote the Loki show.
No shit, I didn't know that.
Really?
What's his name? Yeah. Yeah, which I think is a fun thing to get into because we'll start with Doctor Strange, I guess.
Yeah.
I think the script is like just
the weakest part.
worst
Garbage.
part.
Yeah.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Garbage.
Full disclosure, and I want to be honest with everyone, I only made it like 3/4 of the way through this movie.
Which sucks because the last fourth is like the best part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it was going to turn me.
No, I don't think it was gonna turn you,
No,
but it
no.
kind of like makes the rest of it like, oh, okay. I'm glad I sat,
Yeah,
or
it's
I'm
got the
okay with
weird-
having sat through the
Yeah.
first.
I'm
like,
still okay
yeah.
with having sat through the
You
first
would feel
3/4.
even better if you'd made it all
The
the way.
dialogue was cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
dialogue
favorite part
was,
of the
like,
movie had to
Yes.
be the actual like
The exposition
machine on
Wait,
the
which
street.
one?
They
There
just
was
walk
so many.
Some of the bits were good.
Yeah.
Like, some of the bits were good, but all the dialogue just felt like they were
Yeah.
like, well, we have to write dialogue for
I
this
think
movie.
I think the moral of the story of Doctor Strange is that it really feels like two movies competing against each other. It feels like the individual moments, like the horror elements, the really goofy gags, the interesting parts, the Sam Raimi-isms that come through, all feel fantastic.
Yeah.
They feel fresh, and I think he does a really cool thing where like Sam Raimi kind of like helped popularize superhero films in like the early 2000s with the Spider-Man trilogy. But like even like in the first half hour of this movie with the octopus fight, like that's a scene that you see in every single Marvel movie.
Yes.
But Sam Raimi he does it in such a way that just feels so like earnestly enjoyable. Like he feels like he believes what he's directing. Like he feels like it has a purpose and it should be fun. Like Doctor Strange flipping over the railing, putting the martini glass, like
No, he
like
tosses
that's
it back.
Yeah, like that scene in like an Ant-Man movie would be like 2 seconds and they wouldn't give a shit and it would just be like, all right, on to the next CGI. I felt like there's just something about the way that he directs that feels like, even though this is like, we know that this is just like the preamble, CGI, monster fight, whatever, like he feels like it should still be enjoyable. It feels like a Saturday morning cartoon.
To me, it feels like a lot of times the Marvel movies are a compilation of scenes that are in the movie because someone said they had to be.
Yeah.
In this movie, it felt like everything was thoroughly thought through. Like, Sam Raimi was like, okay, this needs to happen this specific way. When a lot of times, especially in the Avengers series, I feel like the fight scenes are just in there to be fight scenes.
Yeah.
Like, they're the same scene every single time, cut and paste. It's no different. But this was really, like, thought out. And all of, like, the martini gag. Like, that is not just a throwaway.
Yeah.
That's integral to the scene, which is, like, cool to see.
It feels well constructed. I think I didn't finish that thought, but it feels like two movies with the Sam Raimi-isms, the really great moments, like the really earnest action and weird horror stuff. And then there's just, like, the script that is just, like, all of the connective tissue, everything that holds these really interesting moments together just feels so lackluster.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah,
like,
what
because,
connective
like,
tissue?
even
There
like
isn't any.
even like with the editing especially, like we'd be in like really interesting scenes and then it would be like, and now we have to cut back over there. And I'm like, that just like killed the entire moment for
Yeah,
me.
it feels like the studio wanted to rein back some of the edginess, some of the gore, some of the horror elements, and wanted to bring in more of a streamlined story to it, but they failed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the weakest part of the movie is like the middle part where they just delve into like all the cameos for the Illuminati.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, get me wrong. One of the best parts of the movie was them being massacred.
Yes.
But like it was such like a
Spoilers,
segue where just like we delve over here to set up all this stuff and it's just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
good payoff, but
Yeah. Like, the moment where we introduce all these characters is like, I mean, it was, it's like, it's cool,
It just-
it's
it's
cool to
just
see
such-
them, but like, it's just so tedious.
Yeah, let me
it's just lame writing.
spin this one to Allie.
because they're
Go
all just like
for it.
exposition characters.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's Mr. Fantastic, and he just like
Yeah.
says things.
What do you think the payoff of this film is? Because, like, again, I didn't see the very end, so I literally don't know. But, like, trying to guess it as it went along, what do you think the payoff was?
Oh, girl, I don't know. I was specifically saying the payoff for the Illuminati.
Okay.
Like, the payoff of watching her murder them all in
So-
a really cool way is, like, worth
it's
sitting
satisfying.
through the horrible, like, cameo after cameo after
Yeah.
cameo.
It's interesting.
You get, like, an immediate payoff with her, like, having, like, a really cool, really heavily stylized portion.
Yeah,
And
in
it's, like,
term-
full of gore. I didn't mean, like, for the whole movie.
Okay.
I
In
don't know if
terms
there
of
is a
payoff, it's
for the
weird
movie.
because there's not that much payoff for Strange as a character. Because I feel like in a lot of the ways they just wanted to make a Wanda movie.
They definitely
There's payoff
did.
for her, and I feel like she has a pretty distinct character arc. And
I
stuff
feel like
in the
a lot
movie.
of the critique around her character and the writing could have been solved together if they had made the movie about her and then put Doctor Strange into it instead of what they did, which is they tried to make the movie about Doctor Strange and put her in it.
So-
But here's the thing,
she
I like-
steals the show too much.
I like her having like that villain antagonistic role though.
I
So,
do too, but
like-
you can make her the main character and still do that.
So I will actually disagree
can
because
disagree.
I think one of my favorite parts of
I
this
think
movie
Matt
and
also liked it more than I did.
The emotional payoff that I get out of this movie is Doctor Strange's character.
Oh no, I think he had a good character arc. I just meant like
I think
I don't
I think
he
it
needed
gets
to
a little.
focus.
I think it gets a little lost in the middle, but like it sets it up in the beginning and it brings it home at the end. Just like this idea of like Doctor Strange finding kind of independence in a way, in this way that he's like going through all these multiverses, he's seeing all these different versions of his lives, and like everybody keeps asking him if he's happy, and like by the end, like he kind of sorts it out and figures it out, and like it's kind of cheesy when he walks out and gets like the third eye and everything, but like puts on his little coat and everything, and he's like, I'm just gonna go for a walk. Like
And
it for me, it's like it's actually kind of like weirdly nice in how like dark and like horror-esque this movie can
and
be.
I think for each variant that he sees of himself, he sees his flaws pretty evident
and
in all of them.
For some
'cause
reason, I feel like a lot of people kind of like, I don't know, people always have this complaint that like Doctor Strange, like they're ruining his character, making him different. I feel like it's been very consistent. Yeah, you know, it kind of sidesteps the trope that we see in a lot of Marvel movies where they kind of give their characters like very neat kind of character moments, like very tidy character moments where they're like, gee willikers, I learned this lesson, won't do that again. But I don't think this movie does that, and that might be a result of messy writing, but it might be the result of like a bit more of a nuanced character arc, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
I think a bit of both.
I think a bit of both. And I think I'll also say I was very surprised that they let this movie get as violent.
Yeah, they really let Sam
they
Raimi
let it.
go off.
Yeah, they let Sam Raimi do some Sam Raimi, which is always a very encouraging thing to
Yeah.
see. And I hope we see that going forward with more Marvel movies. I mean, we got Thor: Love and Thunder coming out. I hope it's very Taika Waititi.
But yeah, going back to that, like for example, like at the beginning of the Illuminati scene, like Black Bolt's death was generally like pretty brutal for a Marvel movie.
yeah,
The way like his head meshes.
No,
in.
I mean, like, even the
Yeah,
first
that
scene.
got me.
Yeah.
Like, it
Yeah.
jumps into it, and you're like, okay, this is the tone. Like, this is
Well,
going to be
even
more violent.
before you're talking about the starfish, right?
Yes.
Even before that, when it's America Chavez and Ponytail Doctor Strange,
Yeah.
and he gets like stabbed through the leg,
Yeah.
and like kind of he gets like a little bit
Yeah.
like punched around.
No, yeah,
Or
he
even
gets
when
fucked
like
up.
Yeah,
when they
and then
rip
he
out
dies,
the one
obviously.
octopus's like eye.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
very-
but even before that, it's
Yeah. I'm
already
very
gotten way
sad
more graphic.
that you didn't get to the end of the movie, because the end of the movie
It's the most metal shit.
is Doctor Strange resurrects the body of the dead Doctor Strange that they brought through. So he's zombie Doctor Strange who rides a cape made out of the spirits of the damned.
Okay.
It is
Metal.
pretty cool.
He does
It
like,
was
metal
pretty
as
when,
fuck.
when we say resurrect, like you know how they say you can like dream walk in the movie?
Yeah,
he like
does
dream
that.
walks into the dead
Yeah,
body.
but then the spirits of the damned are like,
Oh.
Stephen Strange, you shouldn't be meddling with the
Wait, what
spirits
did
of the
Christine
dead.
say? What did
Oh
she
yeah,
say?
there's a great classic Sam Raimi moment where she grabs the there's an urn in the first Doctor Strange, and there's a joke that he doesn't know how to use it. She holds a candle in front of
Rachel
it. and
McAdams.
The spirit of the damned is coming at her. What did I say?
You just said her.
Oh yeah, Rachel McAdams. But she holds it in front of the demon and goes, "Go back to hell." And
It's like
so
the most
good.
like Evil Dead moment.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
But like,
yeah.
if you're not into like, I do have to say, if you're not into that or don't really know who Sam Raimi is and are not, which
Yeah.
I don't know many
I mean,
people are.
Your sister saw it.
Hi, Megan. Yeah, but I mean, she has seen like those Spider-Man movies, but
Yeah.
she's never seen
Like the Evil Dead.
Yeah,
or,
I mean,
like,
I
Drag Me
haven't
to
really
Hell,
either,
yeah.
but I know about them. So I do have to say, if you're not really familiar with his like directing style and aren't really kind of expecting it,
a
I
little
do
jarring.
think it can be a little jarring. I don't really think that makes it bad.
Yeah.
What I do think was bad was the CGI.
So
wait. Can I just say one thing that I saw that was really funny?
Mm-hmm.
His eye at the end. Somebody posted a photo of that and then the annoying orange. And they.
No, the eye was bad.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. But I will
I know,
say,
you kind of like it.
I will say, a lot of Marvel movies have been having this problem where like they're massive CGI movies, and so they can only throw so much money at a problem that takes time instead of money. But I think it works for this again because I think the bad CGI kind of lends itself to that campy, goofy vibe that Sam Raimi does so well. So like, I don't think at all times it needs to look super realistic.
And can I just say, going back to that campy vibe, the one thing I like about this movie, and this, because like we sort of said it earlier, like when he did like the Spider-Man series back in early 2000s, like he brings a very earnestness to like the superhero movies,
Yeah, he feels like he believes in the characters like we should.
And like I know post like Chris Nolan and now like superhero movies are trying to be take themselves too seriously, or in the vice versa, they try and go to the realm of Guardians, Deadpool, where they're just very comedic.
Where it's like only comedy.
It's only comedy. And like, but I feel like Deadpool in particular, like it's only comedy, but it's not like it doesn't feel like there's earnest stuff going on with the characters.
Yeah,
like they have character arcs. I mean,
I
but
haven't
like when
seen
you
those in a
compare it
while,
to like Sam Raimi's Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, or this version of like Doctor Strange's movie, like there's just like an earnestness.
Yeah,
and,
like I mean, and I think it does it really well too, tying into that because like Wanda is a very villain's villain. Like there's not really like she doesn't really get an arc at the end where she's like she kind of like regrets what she did, but she doesn't really go like, oh shucks, I should have been a good guy. Like she is the villain through and through this entire movie.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've seen a lot of tropes, even again in more Marvel movies, where like the villain always has to be like super relatable, super like we have to know exactly why they're doing what they're doing. We need to understand
Thanos
them.
had some valid points.
What's that?
Thanos had some valid points.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I
mean,
feel like
she
for
has-
Wanda though, like at this point, if you kept up with the MCU, like you don't really got to waste time explaining.
Yeah, but like we
know what she's
also,
after.
like,
he does a good job of like our villains are villains and our heroes like are heroes. Like he doesn't really like our heroes have struggles, but they're not really like as gray or like as like kind of middle ground as a lot of other heroes recently.
And like I don't really know. I'm kind of losing my train of thought because I tried to say it like 2 minutes ago. I don't know. I feel like there's a difference between like making your villain super relatable or super cool or like compelling or make the audience sympathetic to your villain by like giving them like the tragic backstory. And obviously Wanda's character has like a tragic backstory in a sense, but not like in like the tragic backstory trope kind of way. Like she is like, all of these bad things have happened to me, and so I'm gonna lose it.
Yeah,
It's
her,
not like
her
a,
becoming a villain
"Oh,
feels
no,"
like natural.
It feels
like,
right, yeah.
Oh, I have like daddy issues, or like I watched my love of my life like die.
Like something just
I
like
don't know,
thrown
it feels-
onto him. Like
yeah,
for
it
example,
feels like a little bit different.
the Capture the Flaggers from Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that feels more like tragic.
Like that felt very
Flag
forced, tragic
smashers,
backstory.
Whatever they are, that feels that feels a lot more like a tragic
Capture the
backstory
flaggers?
versus like giving a
Yeah.
villain a reason for being a villain and
Yeah.
choosing like the antagonistic.
And I know I
yeah.
like that they just let Wanda be a full.
Yeah,
villain.
like we
I do. I
they're the
do
bad
have to
guys, but we
say-
need to understand why they're
Yeah.
bad
Like
guys.
Simp Uprising starring the Joker. They spend the whole movie saying like, oh, this guy's life sucks. There's a reason he'll turn into a villain, and it's like he's kind of just an incel.
Yo,
Like, I don't know.
he's just like me for real.
I do have to say.
But-
Wait, what do I have to say?
I was gonna say, and I think you might be making the same point.
Okay, go.
I like Wanda being the villain. I do agree that if you haven't seen WandaVision, it's probably very jarring.
Yes, yeah.
They probably should have
And
done
I'm
something in the
not-
beginning
I'm
more to,
not-
like-
So here's the thing. I think I said a little bit earlier that there's so much like lazy writing. Just like you can just tell there was zero thought put into some of the. They were just like, yeah, let's like write this down and like run with it.
Yes.
And I don't really like the required viewings because like if you watch like any other series, like you can even be like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, whatever, you can watch most of those movies on their own and they have their own cohesive elements to them. And then if you watch them with all the others, then you get like a little bit more, but they all stand on their own. And I feel like not so much with this one, but with a lot of Marvel movies, it's like you will not understand what's going on at all unless you've seen the previous 4 movies. And
Plus
I
all
don't-
the related MCU
and
tie-ins.
that's like a oh, because we're trying to do something like super it's just bad writing.
Like,
Yeah,
because
like-
you can
for this-
establish those things in the movie really
Like
quickly.
for this in particular, to watch Multiverse of Madness, you're probably gonna have to see the first Doctor Strange, Infinity War, Endgame, WandaVision, maybe even
Matt
Age of
really
Ultron
wants to
because of
talk.
Wanda.
You're talking to someone who that is.
I know.
Like
Matt really wants to say
okay,
something.
You say what you want to say.
Moon Knight didn't have that issue.
No, it didn't.
Anyways,
Yeah, I am that person.
Yes.
I will never watch all of the Marvel stuff because I think it's tacky. And I'm not going to go back and watch WandaVision. I have no interest in doing that.
I
and
do
I'm not
think it's
gonna
one
do
of the
it.
better
And
Marvel shows, though.
It confused me to a point in this, and I think it is a fault in Marvel because Peacemaker, for example, a show that I thoroughly enjoyed. You actually don't have to watch that Suicide Squad movie to get that show. Even though there are bits that you will only get from
But they're
watching
not,
that,
like, giant
crucial
plot
to the
points.
plot.
You kind of get it though.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Everything,
Because the writing is
I
good.
did not watch a single Avengers movie until Endgame. And that's not like a brag or something. I'm just saying.
Sick brag.
I did not watch a single one until Endgame, and I was so fucking confused. Where like that whole movie, and I actually like enjoyed Endgame. But
Infinity War is better.
no, I'm thinking Infinity War.
okay.
I'm sorry, I misspoke.
You're
Infinity
good, you're
War.
good.
I didn't see a single one
Yeah.
until Infinity War, and I enjoyed that movie. But the whole time I'm like, damn, I wish I knew who this character was because
Well, 'cause they don't give you
Vision,
enough.
I had no fucking idea who Vision
and
was.
the thing
I was
that
like, who
bothers
is this
me,
guy?
the thing
he's
that
Paul
bothers
Bettany.
me is that you can solve that confusion with like a line or two. Like you can solve it in the movie.
Yes.
But then,
Like, you
I
can
think that
solve-
Lord of the
brings
Rings
about.
does it
You
in
can
all
solve-
3 movies. I think that was a
Hello,
great
I just
point.
ate my microphone. Like if you didn't watch WandaVision, they could have like fixed all of that with like a few lines of dialogue.
Bingo.
Like if that like scene with her and Strange like in the orchard that is like not actually an apple orchard at all, and like she's like doing her thing with the dark hole or whatever. If they had just like changed the dialogue or added a line or two, they could have like added a bit more to her character development with like a line or two of dialogue, which would have curbed the critiques that like her character development from whichever movie or from WandaVision to this doesn't make it like they're all solvable problems. It's not like we need another movie to do all that. You
No.
don't. You just
Instead
need
of
to write it better.
Yeah, instead of wasting time with dialogue that isn't important to the plot, which
No,
was
just write thoughtful
the
dialogue.
middle like third of the movie was just bad dialogue that didn't really have anything to do or move the
Also,
needle.
I would say all of the dialogue is bad.
It's bad.
It's just Elizabeth Olsen's delivery of her dialogue makes it good, and most of Benedict Cumberbatch's delivery makes his
Couldn't
dialogue.
agree
And I
more.
will say,
Couldn't
because
agree more.
I know we do want to get to the other movie. One last thing that I do want to touch on is just like America Chavez kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which,
like
which really stinks.
yeah, I
though.
think she's
like
she's a good enough character.
she's a
who-
plot device though.
who just does nothing in this movie. Like similar but dissimilar to the way like people watched Hawkeye and they were like, Kate Bishop's kind of fun and quirky, but like the show kind of sucked, and like that one thing doesn't like cancel out all the rest of the bad. Like America Chavez has like a good personality, but like literally does absolutely nothing in this movie.
Yeah.
No, she's pretty much a plot device.
She's
She's
there.
a
Literally,
walking
she-
plot
she's
device.
She's
Her
the
power is the
definition
plot
of
device.
Yeah.
she's there.
Want to know who
Yeah.
the goat is though? My boy Wong.
Yeah.
He wasn't in the
Wong
movie
was
nearly
fun.
enough.
No, he wasn't. I
Morbius
do.
and Wong and
if
then
you
the multiverse
if you
of
like
sex.
Wanda, if you like Elizabeth Olsen, go watch Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, and I cheered her on the entire time.
She is easily my favorite part of the movie by a long shot, and I'd say it's worth it. I think the style for the most part is different enough from most Marvel movies.
I had
where
a
it's-
fine enough
yeah,
time.
where
I-
it's fine.
It wasn't like I had the experience with Endgame when I
Yeah.
sat there and I was
I
like,
do think
I
a little
can't
bit,
finish this movie.
a little bit of the critiques are coming from people had high expectations, not even like from marketing or anything, like just from their
Doctor
own
Strange, yeah.
personal expectations.
Yeah.
I think people really like Wanda. I think most people like Doctor Strange,
Yeah.
and most people like Sam Raimi. And I think people just had really high
Yeah.
expectations.
I think
it's not a
particular,
perfect movie.
Post
It's not.
Endgame, Marvel fans have like a very big expectation for shooting
And
this
also
movie.
very,
like going into this movie, like they
Yeah.
were like, "Oh, Tom Cruise is gonna appear as Iron Man." And it's like,
Why?
where did you hear that
Yeah.
from?
Yeah.
And then
just
people
know.
are mad
They just know
that
that.
Tom Cruise didn't appear as also an Iron Man.
They
It's
made
like,
it up. Yeah, it's. I hope we're getting to the stage of Marvel where they can just do more smaller scale, weirder movies.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Please,
Thor:
Taika
Love
Waititi
and Thunder.
save us.
You know,
Thor: Love and Thunder.
I
Dude,
will
looks
say
great.
that, I
Say
will
this.
say this. We've been saying that about Star Wars since Disney got it,
Yeah.
and they still haven't done that. So I have absolutely zero confidence that Disney
Yeah.
will do it. Disney will make the thing that makes them the most amount of money.
Always.
They don't give a fuck about the
Always,
source
no.
But I think
material.
I have just
at
the
all.
tiniest bit of faith in Kevin Feige versus like Kathleen Kennedy at Star
Deal.
Wars.
Yeah,
where,
I
like,
agree.
Kevin
I agree.
Feige understands
He
what
seems to
fans
care.
want,
Yeah.
and he cares about it as much as we do.
Yeah.
And like
I do
that's
also-
something.
I think
hopeful.
just the management at Marvel Studios versus Lucasfilms.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
like,
way
completely
better. Way
like-
better.
Yeah, but like overall, I think Doctor Strange, like, very unbalanced just in its entirety.
Give it a B.
Has some really great moments, has some kind of really shitty moments. But, like, overall, I enjoyed my time.
I had a fine time.
I've seen it twice
watching
already. I would see it again.
2/3 of it.
Yeah.
I'm going to finish it.
Yeah.
Like, that's, you know what? That's the Eric's stamp of approval.
For a
I
Marvel
will
movie?
finish
Yeah.
this Marvel movie.
Yeah,
Not like Endgame.
The ending's the best part, honestly. Like, the final sequence, fantastic. Yeah.
Cool.
Moving on to the second movie in this discussion.
A movie that I really enjoyed.
The
Yeah,
best
I
movie
think
ever
all of us
made.
really enjoyed.
Yeah, Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is also a movie that focuses on ideas like the multiverse and science fiction and things like that. Much smaller
much
movies,
more
smaller
interesting.
budget,
I
more
think
intimate. Let's talk.
I have a really, I don't know how to word this. I had a really good connection to the way they explain the multiverse.
Yeah.
They take a 20-minute chunk in the movie and explain it, and then immediately demonstrate how it works.
Yeah, but it's never
Yeah.
boring either.
No, it's
Well, because
not.
they do it through a character.
They explain it to her, like all the multiverse jumpers explain it to her, and then she explains it to her family, and then they never explain it again.
Yeah.
They're just like, this is what happens. And it works because while all that's happening, you're in one location. You're not really jumping around. It's the truck and the office building, the IRS building, and that's it. They give it time to breathe, and then they're like, we're not going to hammer this home.
Yeah.
You don't have to get it. The science part of it is thought out and well explained, but it's not integral to the movie at all.
Yeah,
You really
it's-
don't even need to grasp it.
They don't
but
waste time.
They don't
Like,
waste
They show you
any
how
time.
it works. They have their little machine where
Yeah.
it's like dots. and, like, they
Efficient,
don't-
thoughtful
such an
storytelling.
efficient movie.
Efficient is the best way, and the opposite problem with dialogue. And I don't
Yeah,
know if you
very,
agree with the
very
script.
thoughtful dialogue.
Bing.
They
It's-
use it to serve the plot. They use it
Every
to
single
serve
line.
the character.
Every
Like
single line.
everything is incredibly necessary. I don't think you could. I don't think you should remove any line of dialogue to
it's
that movie
all crucial.
because it's all crucial. All of it matters.
What I
also, like
think-
the delivery of like the acting in that.
Oh,
incredible.
Spectacular.
Hey,
I
Quan.
think the best compliment I can give it is the scene where there are rocks on the ledge. Not a word is spoken. It's
but like,
all
why
tight
are you gonna
dialogue.
cry? But I'm gonna cry.
And every line hits. And all
I
I'm
was-
doing is reading it. And
I was
every line
tearing
hits.
up.
And even the way they like space out them coming onto the screen, giving dramatic pauses. It works so well. Like,
And-
you could tell whoever crafted this script really cared
And,
about
like,
pacing.
Was it
of
the
Daniels.
Daniels?
Just to go
Was
into
it
the
Daniels?
Daniels.
A scene like that should not work.
No.
Yeah.
It
Like, it just
shouldn't.
really shouldn't work.
It should be boring, but it's funny and it's deep and it's emotional, and the whole movie just works super well. I mean, if you were to pitch this idea, hey, let's do a multiverse jumping movie that's an allegory for family.
Especially in
Talking
2022.
about mother and daughter movies.
Yes. How would you do that? Like,
Yeah.
I was thinking that the whole time I'm watching this is like, if you pitch this idea, I would immediately say no because it's too difficult. And yet it was self-contained. It was really in like 3 or 4 locations minus the jumping, and it just worked.
Well, no,
Yeah.
even with the jumping, it was mostly limited to the IRS building, the laundry
Laundromat
house, the
yeah.
truck,
Yeah.
that whatever he's
The
driving,
bagel.
and like maybe 2 other places.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
a lot
bagel
of
place.
smaller scenes
like
in
the
that,
movie
yeah.
theater and like the
Well,
bagel.
and they also
hut.
I think the reason the minimal locations work so well is because they stay in like one section of the IRS for a while and then they move through the same building.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so they haven't actually changed location,
Yeah.
but at the same time they've changed
Scenery.
Yes.
I'm very excited to gush about this movie. I don't have, I think, a single negative thing to say about it.
No.
I had a moment watching this movie, like probably about the halfway point, where like I just sat back and I was like, I'm watching like a modern day Back to the Future. Like this, like I just had this like wave of realization where I was like, I'm watching like one of the greatest movies like in that I think will live on for a long
I don't
time.
want to speak in hyperbole. It is a perfect movie in that every plot point is wrapped up, but it's not forced.
Yeah.
The overall message of the film blends perfectly with the delivery of the message through the multiverse and the allegory for family throughout and how everything is tied into that, but they don't slam it over your head. It's perfect.
Yeah.
As a film, that doesn't make it, my favorite film ever. I don't know. I just saw it. Like, it's really tough for me to gauge that, and I hate the pick your favorite film.
I know.
But
I
it's
might
up there.
I might put it up there, honestly.
It's that good.
Yeah, and one of the things that like I really like just really love about this movie is that we're kind of seeing a general culture shift a lot. Like we kind of talked about like the Nolan era, dark, gritty, like even like things similar to this, like Rick and Morty that have like same like sci-fi aesthetics and concepts and like even themes to a degree, like nihilism and everything. Like this movie's so hopeful.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's
but
so
it's still
good-hearted.
nihilism.
It's
It-
optimistic nihilism.
Well, I
Well,
think
it shows both sides of
Yeah,
that.
I think
Yes.
I was talking to someone like our generation is very. All of our jokes and like mannerisms are very absurd, and they're all filled with nihilism.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is the best movie to capture like the outlook of like I'd
Yeah.
say like mid-20s to younger
Yeah,
people.
but I would also say like people are kind of tired of seeing like the anti-hero, like the dark and gritty, the sad and depressing. Like
Yeah.
people are looking for like heroes that are like good.
Yeah.
Like people were making like this weird comeback where for like people are just looking for characters and movies and stories that are like sincerely good.
I don't mean to draw a comparison to something else, but let me diverge real quick. It's why I love the show Invincible and hate the show The Boys. The Boys is very nihilist. It's very everything's fucked and there's no redeeming quality about the show at all for me. Whereas Invincible still tackles that like gory, like really dark. But Stephen Yeun's character is just like optimist. He's like, yeah, I'm going to fight my dad, but I'm going to win. I'm going to make everything a better place. And it's why something like that works, and I don't think The Boys works at all. And in this movie, and you brought up Rick and Morty, and I think it's a great comparison, why Rick and Morty got stale is because it's always we're the worst people, the worst things happen. This movie, June's character is very much like everything's the worst, everything's the worst. But it's all brought back around at the end where it's like, no, we have a chance. Like, yeah, everything's not perfect, and yeah, it's a rat race. But
Wait,
like,
which character?
Do you mean Joy?
Joy. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
you
I
said
said
June.
June.
But
I'm
like,
stupid.
yeah, going back to that hopeful
Movie came out in
earnestness,
April.
like, tell me you didn't cry during that sequence where, what's the character's name in the movie? The dad?
It's Ke Huy Quan.
Well, like the dad's character when he was like in a
Waymond.
Waymond.
Yeah.
and when he was like, in another life, I would have been just happy.
Wait. Can
Doing
we talk
taxes
about?
with you?
Yeah, can we
Like-
talk about the in another life I'd be perfectly like happy just doing taxes with you and how that like hits
Is the
really
movie.
emotionally. But I think like on the opposite side, Doctor Strange being like, "I love you in every universe."
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'll
I'm like,
agree with
okay, and
And
Yeah.
so no, and the genius.
it's pretty much the same line,
yes,
but also
they're
it's
saying the
not
same
the
thing.
saying the same thing. But I think you can like thoughtful dialogue
Yeah.
yes.
versus just we wrote this down and
Yeah.
we're having a character
Every-
say it.
the
every single-
conversation they have where he's like, I also solve every problem. I just do it different than you because I try and do it through kindness, and it shows
Dude,
their
I
yin
was
and their yang
on
balance.
the verge of tears.
And it is so perfect because the whole movie she thinks he's an idiot. It's like she keeps saying that, like, without me, he'd be lost. He'd never be able to do anything. But in reality, without him, she'd not be able to do anything because he is solving all the problems. And that scene at the end where he's talking to the IRS woman and he fixes it by
But
just
she
being
thinks he's
kind.
messing it up the whole
Yes,
time.
but he's not, and he fixes it. And that's when she has a realization. It's a very basic plot device that's been written hundreds of times in
but
movies.
it's the way they've
It's
done
done.
it.
Yeah.
It's the trickle and the important dialogue we got to
It's-
it, and the way each character gets a development. It's not grouped together. Even the grandfather. Every character gets independent character development. I love it.
Every character feels so real.
Yeah.
Like nobody feels ancillary in the story.
No.
Every
Everybody-
single character.
Even the
Everybody.
IRS lady.
Yeah.
And even the
Like-
girlfriend.
Deirdre.
Even
Yeah.
Joy's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, everyone gets
Becky.
a character come around moment.
Yeah, and it's
Even Rakakuni.
even
Literally,
Rakakuni.
even Rakakuni. Great reference.
I love
you.
Rakakuni.
That was
also,
such. Also, it's so funny.
Yeah, I was
It's
gonna.
so
I was
funny.
gonna say,
Oh my
thank
God.
God, we finally have some hope that somebody can make a comedy movie that isn't just like Deadpool. I'm gonna slap pop culture in your face.
What
and
is
that's
this guy, the
humor.
Winter Soldier?
Yeah, like it's so fucking funny
I'm sorry, I had to.
and does not rely. It like I don't think there's really like obviously like it's in its shooting style and like Rakakuni and everything. Like there's references and homages, but like it never relies on them to be funny or interesting. Like sure they're in there, but like
2001 reference.
yeah,
That I
it's-
love. The
it's-
monkeys with the large fingers.
Yeah.
There's references,
on.
but they don't
That
like
was
rely
so
on
good.
it. Something
They-
like
I was
Deadpool, for
Leonardo
kinda,
example.
like,
DiCaprio
funny.
in
Yeah.
the movie theater. I was like,
Yeah.
And a lot of the jokes are very like they're very stylistic jokes.
Yes.
They're jokes that concern the form and the way the
Yes.
movies are made and the way that you're experiencing them. It's not hey look, it's the Winter Soldier.
So
it's so inherently funny.
You made a really good point earlier. I think it applies to this when you kind of compared it to Rick and Morty. And I think Rick and Morty does this, which is what makes their pop culture references work, where the reference itself is a joke. They're satirizing the fact that they're even making the reference, and they do that in this movie. Like the Rakakuni thing, it's not about that. It's about her getting a character moment, but they satirize the fact that they even made the reference.
But that's also why they're so different.
Yes.
Because Rick and Morty is like, haha, it's funny that we're thinking about doing this thing in a show, thinking about doing this thing in a show. 7 layers of irony. Like, everything everywhere all at once, like, for as, like, all over the place and zany as it is, like, it lays its cards just like straight on the table.
No, it does.
And
it
it
just
is like
does stuff.
This is what this movie is about,
Yeah.
and we are going to be very.
It's
direct
hard.
and
It's on
upfront
its
with you.
sleeve.
Yeah,
Like,
and I
like
love
that final sequence, like where she's going up the stairs and she's showing people trying to fight her, and she's showing them all like
like
happiness.
What they
Yeah.
need. Yeah.
yeah, like shit, like
She's just showing them kindness.
She
Yeah.
brings the 2 guys together and they make out. That's
Yeah.
like my
No,
favorite.
but I don't know. It's so much. It's
her
about
talk,
every
her talk with Joy, like in the parking lot too.
Yeah.
Like that
and
also
like
got
the
me.
movie like is about everything. Haha, everything.
Everything
everywhere.
there all at once.
Oh,
yeah.
But like, it's about like so many things at one time. But each aspect of the film, like the family aspect, their relationships between each other, like the mother-daughter relationship, like husband and wife relationship.
It's
mother,
never too much.
well,
because it's all
that-
streamlined through the
that-
family.
but all of those aspects are treated as equals.
They're
not like
complementary.
we're going to talk about like all the familial relationships, but we're really talking about like nihilism and your place in the universe. And that's the real message.
Yeah.
They're all the real message of the movie. Like they're all equally important
Yes.
to each other. Like
and-
every aspect, I don't know, every like theme
Instead
in the
of
movie
developing
matters. Oh my
one
God.
main character, and there is one main character, they develop every character equally.
Yeah, exactly.
And that equity across the film adds another layer.
Yeah,
and I
it
think
works.
that is exactly what you're saying. It's just like everyone gets equal time,
Yeah.
and all of these points and all of these character traits, which are the traits of the movie they're trying to talk about, all get fleshed out and explained.
Yeah, but yeah, it does such a good job of doing everything like so equally, just character development, story development, thematic development,
Cinematography.
cinematography. It makes it just seems so easy in the way that it does it. Like it never feels like it's trying too hard to be any one thing. It just feels like it unravels so naturally and so
Yes.
effortlessly.
It's because they, again, and Ali said it earlier, they built a good script that doesn't just have lines for the sake of having lines. Everything is built because it has a purpose. There's no throwaways. Even the jokes, as you said, aren't just throwaway gags. They're all important. It's not like the Family Guy cutaway comedy bullshit when it could have been.
Yeah.
That would have been
Yeah.
an easy way to put jokes in.
What about the universe where I had pizza for hands?
Yes, but it's what about the universe where I had hot dogs for hands, but she has a relationship with the IRS woman,
Yeah.
which shows...
There's no dialogue in that universe.
No.
No.
She's just like, it shows her still being cold to someone else who loves her, which she's doing in the universe
And then
with Waymond, and it shows her flaws.
Yeah.
But it's a fucking gag.
And
And
then
it's
even-
like, yes, that's why this works.
And then they even bring it back at the end where it's like, even the universe where we have hot dogs for hands, we do more stuff with our feet.
yes. And they're playing the piano, but it doesn't sync at
Yeah.
all. She's
Yeah.
just like smashing
Yeah.
the piano, and
But
they're
it's
playing
funny.
like Beethoven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just I'll say it again. Perfect film.
It's a perfect
It really
movie.
is because it's tough to throw perfect film on something, but
Yeah.
it wraps up every plot line.
Yeah.
It gives every character a fleshed out arc. The cinematography is really creative and really fun. It can be punchy at times. It can be slow at times.
And like
and it's funny.
I was excited for this movie going in, and I
Yeah.
still came
And
out
it
just
surpassed
absolutely
my
The
blown
first
away.
time I saw it, I was just in awe.
Yeah.
I
the group I was
have
watching it with.
this complex where if a bunch of people like something, I generally
You're-
am like,
you're
I'm not
immediately-
gonna like it.
Yeah.
You're the contrarian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I went into this thinking like, we'll see. I'm
Yeah.
going to view it through a critical lens, which I also did with Worst Person in the World. And I came out of it like that was way better than I thought. Not even, it was way better than other people said it was.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Insane. Yeah. It's
Oh,
yeah.
Can we talk about the visual effects in this
Yes,
movie
that is-
versus in Doctor Strange?
that is one
Because
I want to talk
Doctor
about.
Strange is a Marvel movie that has. I mean, I don't obviously know how they break down their budget, but
But they have,
obviously
like,
has
5 different
an
studios.
insane budget, have access to so many different studios, and what? Both of you just looked up.
I'm sorry. I
over
saw
my head.
there's a stink bug on the light, but that's it.
There was
He's
one
on
on
the
my-
other side. He's not on your
No,
side.
No, there was a dead one on my chair, so they have to be
He's fine.
He's good. He's
horrible.
good. I'm sorry. I
Horrible.
just got distracted.
Horrible.
No, but how this massive conglomerate studio has access to all these sub studios with all these artists hired by them, and obviously they can't do infinite visual effects because like those also take like time and money, but compared to this movie, which did not have nearly as big of a budget, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, the
and
budget
has a visual effects team of how many people?
7 people and a budget, the entire movie budget of $25 million.
And how much is the Doctor
And
Strange
they've
budget?
Probably
Millions?
at least like
180.
I think-
eight times that. Yeah.
Oh wait, the budget is $200 million according to Wikipedia.
800 times.
I
eight
think
times
it's an
that.
example of if you actually have a cohesive vision, something that you have love for, something that you want to make, you can do it.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange is just a Marvel movie. They're making it because they can. They're not making it because
It's
they
fun,
want to.
Yeah.
This movie, it was clearly someone's baby. Clearly someone's passion project was like, I need to make this, and I will make this.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great example of like why indie movies now are having this resurgence. Because all of these corporate movies, like think of the last Star Wars movie. No one
I
needed to
have
make
to?
that. No one asked for it.
You know,
they didn't even want to fucking make it.
Somehow,
Palpatine.
returned.
Dan, do
They-
they fly now?
They made that movie
They fly now.
because they said they were going to and then realized they had to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas something like Everything Everywhere All at Once was someone's passion. They wanted to make it, and
I want to
fuck
go
it,
watch
they
it
did.
again. I want to
do
go
too.
watch it again. It's so
Wait,
good.
Also, I think going back to the visual effects, because I really, really enjoyed the visual effects in Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Agreed.
I think one, because they did not have as much money at their disposal, they did not have that many artists at their disposal. They had to get creative in how they did
And
a
they-
lot of the visual effects, and they couldn't really rely on them like so much.
Yeah.
Like even though it was like a sci-fi amongst other things, like multiverse movie, they can't be like, and we'll just CG this.
Yeah, and they
I saw
Because they
this
don't,
one
like, have all that-
IndieWire video
No.
where they broke it down.
Yeah, they posted a lot of their visual
yeah,
effects
I know.
breakdowns, and it's like it's so simple, but like
But that versus like something like a Marvel movie where they can just literally be on blue screen, like
Yeah,
the
we'll shoot
entire
this on
time.
a fucking backlot
And we'll
in an
just do
airplane
it.
hangar.
We'll just do
It's
it.
why I hate the movies, because not all of them, but a lot of them, because there's no
Not all Marvel
practical
movies.
emotion. There's no practical.
And this is nothing
set
against visual
design.
effects artists.
No, it's not. Like I
Yeah.
love visual effects.
Yeah.
It's without practical effects and without building something and building a set, you lose an emotional connection
Yeah.
in your actual making of the film, not just as an audience. And when you don't have that, you can feel it. And in Everything Everywhere All at Once, you can even, it's an IRS building, but I feel how thought out it was. And it
They
feels
just like yank
real.
her back in the
yeah,
chair.
yeah, they like literally just like it. Visual effects, like any part of a movie, are a tool.
Yes.
You know, it just because you have a massive VFX budget doesn't
Just
mean that
because
you
you
have a
can,
good movie. You
Doesn't
know?
mean you should.
Yeah.
Just because there's a big budget of, say, $90 million and you want to make a vampire movie doesn't mean you have to.
Whatever are you talking about?
It's
Whatever are you
morbid,
referring
But
to?
someone clearly had a vision for Morbius.
Yeah,
I feel
I mean,
like you're.
Morbius
Matt
is
Smith had a
definitely
vision.
a passion project. That
I
was
had a
Matt
vision of Matt
Smith's.
Smith.
I had a
Passion
bunch
project.
of visions of Matt Smith.
Honestly, best part of the movie.
The only thing it was missing was an Uptown Funk dance scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, the Slavs really should have come in at that point. I think.
Yeah.
Or,
Or
there's
like a Winter
Serb
Soldier joke.
Siberians,
Like
not-
there
but-
were like I needed a
What?
few more jokes, like
No,
a
yeah.
Winter Soldier joke.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
a few more.
Yeah, what was Jim Carrey's catchphrase? Now I forget.
Later haters.
Later haters.
Later haters.
Later haters.
Even in a universe where I had to watch Sonic 2, I'd still love you.
Even in a universe where I had to watch Sonic 2 and a bunch of parents were angry I wouldn't take pictures with their kids, I would still love you.
Even in a universe where it's Morbin time, I'll still love
Let's
you.
not go that far, brother.
You're right. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be. I don't mean to use hyperbole.
Okay, but
yeah.
which did Everything Everywhere All at Once make a more billion or?
Well, I mean, it's not going to more be a sweep.
Well, it is. It has become
You heard
the
it here.
highest grossing A24 movie
Yeah,
ever
Yeah,
made.
it
I did
passed.
see that.
It passed Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
Which
Uncut
I'm so glad
Gems.
I was
because
waiting for
Uncut
it.
Gems isn't even in my top 10.
No, yeah.
No.
Good
It's
time.
not.
Team Good
Yeah.
Time all the way.
Good Time is way better.
Haven't
I don't
seen
even
it.
like the Safdie brothers that much, but Good Time's really good.
I like the Safdie brothers.
I mean, they're all right.
I like them.
I like
What else?
I like 'em.
Have
I
they
like
just done
Benny
those
and
two?
Licorice
they did
Pizza.
Daddy Longlegs, which is like a really
Yeah, Daddy
indie
Longlegs.
feature, yeah.
Daddy Longlegs is good.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but
It's on Criterion.
it's coming
Check
to
it out.
Criterion. Yeah.
I think-
Well, it's on the channel, but it's coming to the disc.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
giving a release for it.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about everything.
No,
Everywhere
it's just
All
a
at Once.
perfect
It's-
movie.
Go
Made me
see
cry,
it.
made
Go
me
see
laugh.
So good.
Go see
It-
it.
Go see it.
It's like not to quote Nicole Kidman, but like it's why we go to the movies.
Cinema Lady.
Heartbreak feels good in a
place like this.
You know,
Thanks for watching,
my
everybody.
first time watching Everything Everywhere All at Once, I didn't see it in AMC. so I didn't see
Oh
Nicole
wow,
Kidman.
that's so sad.
Wow.
That is
damn.
sad.
Yeah.
That's
That's so sad.
honestly like I go to AMC strictly for Nicole Kidman.
Well, we went when we went and saw Men. We came up with a new. Allie came up with a new gauge.
Is the movie better or worse than the Nicole Kidman ad?
Yeah. Did you have a better or worse time in the movie than you
For
did
me,
with the Nicole Kidman
watching
ad?
Men,
You didn't.
I had a better time watching the Nicole Kidman ad than I did watching Men.
Yes.
But yeah, just amazing movie.
Amazing
That's
movie.
my new scale.
I like that gauge a lot.
That's my
Yeah,
new
right?
scale.
because like it doesn't necessarily mean good or bad because like I'd say for Morbius I had more fun with the movie only because I sat next to you and Dan and we made
that was
jokes
exactly
the whole
my
time.
train of thought.
Yeah.
I would say Morbius is on par with the
Yeah.
Nicole Kidman ad.
Because
I think
we
Morbius
still have
has
fun with the ad, but we had fun with Morbius because it was bad.
Bad?
I would say.
I-
Well, I'm sorry.
Bad.
Morbius
Excuse
was the
me?
greatest film ever made,
There you
and
go.
therefore we had
We're
fun.
not holding a gun at the table.
Jared Leto's holding a gun to my balls right now.
Oh, come on,
Never mind.
it's not that bad.
What did I call the guy at the end of the Morbius podcast?
Come store somebody. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Cum store David Cross.
Yeah, there it
Bring
is.
that back.
Bring it up.
There
full
was no
circle.
cum stores on any on this podcast. I didn't
no,
have
I
any
mean-
this time.
I can't really think of
No.
any. No.
I'm looking at the movie list. I don't
Yeah,
see
no,
anything.
Yeah.
Oscar Isaac is just the cum store.
You know-
if
you
you're
know-
asking me, but-
Ayo, Doctor Strange Multiverse of the Madness is kind of come store everything everywhere all at once.
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
It did-
No, I don't want to shoot you down.
Nah,
but, like,
I don't think it sticks.
Do you
Unlike
think?
the cum
do
store.
you think if
Bada bing.
I know you're
boom.
still doing it?
Yeah, we're doing a bit.
Yeah. Do you think if there had been more space between these two movies, you would have liked Doctor Strange more?
Great question.
I think so, actually.
Because
Yeah,
they
because-
came
A little
out
bit, a
really,
little
bit. This
really close
definitely-
together.
I
But
saw
see
them the same
perception.
week.
Yeah. And which one did you see first?
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
I did too.
Same.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
And that was like a really, really high for me.
Yeah,
I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once, and I said, if I never saw another movie again after seeing that movie, I'd be fine with that.
I did find myself in Doctor Strange too. Like,
Yeah.
comparing it, I was like,
I
yeah.
even wrote in one of my Letterboxd reviews, I was like, yeah, like, the elephant in the room is that this came out 2 weeks after everything.
Yeah.
Everywhere All
And
at
you know
Once.
what? Thank God that a fucking A24 indie movie, like 1/8 the budget of a Marvel movie, is making anybody say, "Man, I wish Marvel movies were more like that."
Yeah, I mean, A24 is doing it right now. I mean, I know Man, and it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
But
it was bad.
It was bad.
It was bad.
I on Letterboxd, I was gonna give it a 1/2 star, and I gave it a 1 star because I said, you know what? I hated it, but he sure was trying something.
yeah,
You know, I've got to be real, Matt. I don't think he was.
All right, let's not
because-
delve into men talk
Men,
here.
am I right?
yeah. Can't live with him, can't live without him.
I mean, you
I
could.
mean, maybe you could.
Such a dumb movie. He said, "I'm not trying. It's not an intelligent movie." And you know what? He was right. It was not an intelligent movie. I don't know if a thought went into it. Actually,
Well, thanks for coming here, everyone.
we
Yeah.
can. I don't want to end this podcast on that
don't wanna
note.
talk
No.
Okay. I really, 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 really hope we see Ke Huy Quan in just a shit ton more movies.
Yeah, let's
I don't
let's
know.
put him in
I will-
everything.
Yeah.
Put him in everything. Put him
Okay.
in everywhere.
everywhere,
Put
all
him,
at
put him
once.
in them all
Okay.
at
Okay.
once.
Okay. If you could pick a favorite actor from Everything Everywhere All at
Ke Huy
Once,
Quan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna zag here, and I don't know the actress's name that
Joy?
played Joy.
Yeah. Stephanie Sue?
Her
Yeah.
facial expressions through the whole movie, where it was really not even her face, but the pain behind her eyes.
You want to hear something terrible?
Unbelievable.
You want to hear something that's just going to ruin everything
Yeah.
for
it's
you?
Stephanie Shu,
Stephanie Shu.
Gotcha.
because her Instagram bio says like the shoe on your foot.
I like that.
That's cute. Do you know who they originally wanted to cast as Joy? But I think the script was in development for too long that she couldn't.
Who?
Aquafina.
Aren't you so glad?
I'm so glad. That might have ruined
So
the movie.
I do like Aquafina, but
No.
a lot of
She
people.
could
I
not
don't
have
think
done
anyone
this.
else could have played
She
it.
could have
Yeah,
done
no, I agree.
I'd say that for every character in this film.
Yeah, I'm so
No
glad.
one else
Yeah.
could
For
have
the
played
amount,
any of these
for the amount of like
characters.
semi big names in this movie, nobody feels like a big
Well,
name.
there
in this
actually was
movie.
an initial version of the script where
It was Jackie Chan.
it was Jackie Chan and not Michelle Yeoh.
There was a funny story.
And
wait, really?
I can't even imagine what that one.
Yeah,
looked
because
like.
they wrote this script with Jackie Chan in mind because they wanted to make like a kung fu kind of action multiverse movie.
Ke Huy Quan
Yeah. Yeah, no, but then they were like, why don't we just do Michelle Yeoh? Because she's fucking great.
Wait.
And also a kung fu action star.
Yeah, but there's a funny article like a few weeks ago where Michelle Yeoh did an interview and she was like, yeah, I've been calling Jackie Chan to make fun of him that I got the role and he didn't. And it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And Jackie Chan probably loves that.
Yeah.
Because he's just a kind, gentle man.
Allie, who's your favorite actor?
I don't know.
It was your question.
I know.
You asked the damn one. That's why she asked
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? Mine was Mona Lisa, actually.
Okay.
Money, please.
Money.
You know what? Harry Shum Jr.
So, I will say, we got both of them in a movie in the last month. We had Sonic. Ben Schwartz in Sonic 2. And he did do I Am the Worst in Sonic 2.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Unfortunately, he did a John Ralphio.
He was, in fact, the worst.
Yeah, I mean, he was. He was the worst part of the movie.
But
Wait.
oh yeah, you gotta.
Well, I don't have an answer. They're all my
No,
favorite.
you got to pick. We all picked one. Because I could have just copped out and said all of them are great.
Pop out.
Cop out.
Probably Michelle.
Terrible movie.
Okay, that's fair.
That's still
Or
feels like a
Stephanie.
cop out. But.
Okay. I like that.
Or Gehigwan.
Well, I will say one thing. We're definitely back.
We're back.
We're in the studio.
Yeah.
We're going to be coming at you with a podcast every week. I
Yeah.
can confidently say that.
I can confidently say that.
I
as
have an
well.
idea what next week's going to be because it's my most anticipated movie in about 36 years.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
really excited.
Why is the American national anthem playing in the background and fighter jets are going
Eric,
over
is
us?
is that what you gave us all enlistment papers?
I gave you
Is that-
body oil, a volleyball, pants that'll show your cock really well, and enlistment papers. So get your shit ready. Kenny Loggins on repeat. Top Gun Maverick this weekend.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Good soup.
Good soup.
Good soup.
She had a pair of apple bottom jeans.